Hello and welcome back to Calmsden. So, we are continuing on the theme of cultivating contracts. We've got a fair few to do today. So, got a worker cracking on with that. We're in field 23. So, we can hop out, let them get on with that, and then we can just move on to the next one when they have done. So, what do we need to do on our farm? Well, if we go in to our map and come up to field number 6, we can see that we've got weeds. So we need to get our John Deere See and Spray out and get these weeds sprayed with some herbicide. So that's the first job for today. So let's get on with it. So we're just topping off the sprayer from our new herbicide fill point. So we've got 3,360 litres in there. So we've had that installed. Save ourselves going to the shop every time we need herbicide. Now, I don't think that we will use anywhere near all of this, but better to have too much in the tank rather than having to make another trip. So let's get into the field, get this unloaded, and we'll see how it works. So before we start, we're just in the field, so you can see, as we saw on the mini map, it's not a complete blanket of weeds anymore. They are sporadic in a few clumps and dotted here and around, so yeah, a bit different, a bit more realistic. The other thing I've just noticed is if you look at the field info box, so obviously it tells us we can use a weeder for small weeds, but the other thing I've just noticed is it's got required tyres. So at this stage it's telling us we can use all tyres and tracks, which is handy if you're new to the game and you've got crop destruction on. It gives you a bit of a hint as to what setup you should have on your tractor. So let's get in. We don't need the beacons on, so that is now, let's just get spun around here and get it turned on. So you'll see, if I can get the lighting right, that it's not a consistent spray. It's just spraying as and when it needs on the weeds. Poet, don't know it. So that just targets the weeds and gets rid of them. So if we just stop there for a second, we can leave that running, and you'll see the patch that we've been is now telling us that those weeds are dead. Marvellous. So we'll get a headland done and we'll catch up then. Right then, so headland done, and we've only used 3% of a tank, which is amazing really. So we are using very little herbicide, which is obviously the intention, so it's better for the environment, and yeah, all good. So if we just hop into the precision farming menu and let that save, so you'll see that now the bottom 3 bars are completely maxed out. So if we go over to here, that's weed control, soil sampling and tillage. So there's been no tillage effectively on that field 6. The weed control is as precision farming intends it, with the See and Spray, and we did the soil sampling. So we're now up to a score of 77 for that field and 57 overall, which is rather good. So I think what we'll do, I'll stop chatting, we'll crack on, we'll get this done, and we'll move on to the next job. Right then, field finished, and we used 9% of a tank, which is spot on. So we'll get this unloaded. The cultivating contract on 23 has completed, so we can move on to the next one. That John Deere, now it's had the upgrade, is stomping through jobs like that. So we'll get this unloaded. There we go. And I'll see you when we're shifting fields with the cultivator, I think. Right, so field 21 underway. And I've just clocked, actually, in our slurry tank, we are maxed out. So we've got two options. One, we can sell a bit, or two, or we could do one and two, so there might be an option three, is we can get an extension. Now, I think, from memory, that they are quite big extensions. You can't even jump a fence, gate. Right, so that's brimming, as we can see. If we jump into the construction menu, which is not that one, it is here. Silo extensions, so they're so big. And obviously it's got to be within a certain range. No. That one's even bigger. Have we got anything that's... No. That's the manure. I mean, it could possibly work there. Tell you what, I'll come out of here, I'll save it, we'll give it a go, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, I'm actually reasonably pleased with that. So got that in, 65k, did a bit of levelling beforehand, slight bit of painting on the terrain, put a track in, so that is that problem or issue solved. So a bit close to the water trough, but I'm sure the cows will cope fine. So with that done, we can now move on to the rest of today's jobs. Just finished servicing the tractor and the trailer, so we are going to get a couple of loads of wheat sold. The price is at its best in December, so that's going to be running. The other thing that I want to do is check the price for silage, because we've got a where do I want to go? A load of bales that we made to get rid of. We can then off-hire the other rolling trailer that we've got, the bale one, and we may also look to get the other silage bales in that barn sold, but we'll see how we go. And yeah, we'll just plod on. So I think I left the wheat in this one, I can't actually remember. Yes, there we go. So while that fills up, we'll just check the price for silage. Why am I in that menu? There we go. Right, silage. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not actually till next month, so January we will wait and sell that then. Okay. What else have we got? Straw? No. Soybeans we know there. June milk. No, we've missed that. Although we may have to sell in January because we probably hit the limit at some point. Honey, I don't think is going to be worth the journey. No, not till Feb. Sunflowers. Let's have a look. No, again, Feb. Okay, right, so it's just the wheat today. So we'll get this load sold. And I'll catch up back with you on the next run. Right, second and last load for today going in now. So we got 29-ish thousand off the first one. So hoping for something similar on this one. Let's wait and see. 29,332 and 592 environmental score reward. With that done, we need to keep the rest for the chickens. So obviously we've got the 2 pens now, and they get through a fair bit of grain. So what I do want to do is head up to the community area and make a few more additions up there. Right then, here we are in our lovely community area. So when we did the additions before, I asked if there's anything that people thought would work well in here, and there was one suggestion for pigs and chickens, because this is kind of turned into a bit of a farm farm area. So I think if we jump into the construction menu and animals and go to the pigs, we've got several different options. I don't think free range is kind of what we're looking for, but if we go for this one and then just have a look at what we think. So about there, do we think? Yeah. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. Bit of smoothing out to be done, but we can sort that in a little bit. So let's get some pigs, shall we? So into the menu, we've got 3 different types. We've got the Berkshire, the Bentheim Black Pied, and the German Landrace. So I think we've got 30 capacity. So if we go for, let's start with 5 of each, I think. Yep. And then lastly, the Berkshire ones. Super. Let's have a look at them. Oh. Great. So we need food and water. So let's go and get that sorted. Right then, we've got the pig food. 10,000 litres of it. I'm not actually sure how much they're going to take, so we will get this unloaded. Just change my mouse setting, there we go. Try not to knock them off the back, there we go. See if we can get the 4. There we go, right. Let's get them picked up. See how much the pigs actually take. go. Let's just jump into the animal menu. Where are the pigs? There we go. So they're going to take a fair bit, which is not a problem. Got the water tank filling up, so we can get them fed, get them watered, and then jump on to the other little addition that I want to make. I do love the sound of this tractor. It's proper grunt and yeah, proper old school. Right, so if we can get into the trigger for the water. There we go. We'll see how much they take. They didn't take all of the food. Only took 9,500 litres. Oh. Is that it? Only 3,000 litres of water as well. So what we can do now is take this and top up the sheep, and then actually no, that's not what I said I was going to do. So if we just turn that off there. So the other suggestion was for some more chickens, because yeah, what's a farm park without chickens running around? So back into construction, back into animals. Hello. Chickens, and for these I do actually think that we can go free range. So let's just bring up and put free mode on. Now what we don't want is for it to be somewhere that, there we go, I think there. There we go. So what we can do now, he says, is jump out of there. We can hide the grid. There we go. And we can get some more chickens. So these ones we got 150. So let's go for the young ones. And we can do in 60s. So get a couple of roosters. Love it. That gives a really nice sort of open plan. What am I I think I'm gonna have to do, so you can see the grid there, we can turn that off. May have to think about getting rid of the interactive markers at some point. Should know where everything is by now. Be a little bit more immersive. So let's go and get the sheep topped up, and we can check on our cultivating contracts then. Next one underway, field 18, so we've got one more after this, which I think is field 30. Let's just have a look. Yeah, field 30, so these are the bigger ones now. So we'll leave that to it. We'll head back to here. We've got the fence, because I need to feed the chickens, obviously. So really haven't got a clue how much they'll take. I am guessing it's not going to be a lot, because seeing as we've only got 62 birds, I think it is, so it's going to take a very minimal amount. Try to get through here without knocking down the nice wall. Yep, near enough. So one thing I have noticed on the 1.2 update, and I think it was in the changelog, was that there's an improved grass texture. So, oh, there we go. You can see that. So you can see now that rather than the bright green, really, horse, the bright green base layer, you've got that sort of muddied and green texture now, which I think really is so much more realistic. There you go, you can see it perfectly there, but let's jump out and have a look. We can move the landy as well. So you can see it's kind of patchy, mossy, clovery grass now, which, unless you've got a bowling green lawn, is probably what most people's look like. And then you've got the foliage on top. Yeah, it just looks a lot better in my eyes. So let's get this shifted so we can get to the feed trough. Pigs look happy, sound happy as well. Jump back into the fence and get these chickens fed. There we go. Bets on how much they'll take. Oh, more than I thought. Wowzers. Okay, just check on that. 3,750 litres. Okay, job's a good one. So we can get this dumped back into the silo. Everything else is good. And yeah, so I'll get this back, get the landy out of the way, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, everything's back at the yard. We are just giving the power spray a power wash. Try and keep it in as good nick as possible. Give the fen a rinse as well. So I think there's not much else to do in December. I've heard a rumour locally that there's some new developments going on, so we'll have to see what that brings us in the new year. But I think we'll get this put away. We will collect on the couple of contracts that we've done, so you can see how much cash we actually end up with for now until the other two are complete. So that's there, brilliant. We can just drop that there for now. Let's hop into the contracts menu. So we will collect on 17, collect on 21, collect on 23, and those two are still running. So that takes us to 414,000. Thank you. £414,548. And I think, everyone, that is where we're going to leave it for this episode. I will see you in a few months' time in game, and yeah, we'll see what that development might actually be. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already and you've enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.